The thought had crossed her mind more than once to return him to the shelter. Faye never did, of course. No, as it turned out, no amount of snarling or defecating in high-traffic areas or trying to bite her with his gummy, toothless mouth would ever steer her heart away from the four-legged fur demon. The reason being simple enough. She had made a promise to Hillel. She had stood outside Woodstock Animal Shelter, placed him safely in the front basket of her bike, and told him she would care for him and protect him and never betray his love on a snowmobile in Lapland until the bitter end. Perhaps loving someone to the bitter end had always been her downfall. Her mind wandered to her ex-fiancé Stuart, and most applicably, her nose wrinkled. The scent of dog feces was beginning to take up residence. Faye hobbled on one foot up the stairs to the second floor. Finding her way to the bathtub, she set about cleaning up her foot. For the last 3 years, Faye had been the sole proprietor of Magic Mud Pottery. She lived above her store and studio in a quaint one-bedroom apartment. Magic Mud Pottery was one of a handful of old buildings made of wood and painted in bright colors that dotted the bucolic downtown of Woodstock, New York. Set between large trees and decorated with pride flags and double-hung windows, it was the type of town that, no matter the season, smelled like burning wood and cinnamon. Her apartment was small, but as a single woman, she didn't need much space. Plus, she had gotten an amazing price. On the second floor, a cozy bedroom sat towards the back of the building, overlooking a fenced-in yard and garden. In the front, a tiny living room was divided from a half-kitchen by a counter. A bathroom rested in between. As an old building, the layout, but especially the kitchen, was all types of weird. While the oven, stove, and sink were on the second floor, the refrigerator was too tall for the upstairs kitchen alcove, and so it sat downstairs, right behind the front counter, where Faye often rang up customers. At first, it was a problem, especially at night, as Faye often liked to sneak downstairs in nothing but her skivvies and have a late-night snack. But Faye quickly realized that most everyone who owned a business in downtown Woodstock lived elsewhere, and so, even though she had invested in curtains, she never bothered to use them. Beyond all these things, she liked the quirkiness of the building. The fact it was strange and unusual, it reminded her of an apartment she had lived in on the Lower East Side while a young lawyer in Manhattan, with a shower in the kitchen and a bathroom outside the apartment just down the hall. Faye was finishing cleaning up when the bell above the front door to Magic Mud Pottery rang out. "Vega!" a voice called out moments later. She recognized the voice as belonging to Nellie, who owned the building next door, where she ran the business Second Glance Treasures. It was a gentle, lovely name for a store that was essentially extra storage space for a woman who had taken the hobby of hoarding to a professional capacity. Perhaps Faye was being too hard on the eccentric octogenarian, but no filter Nellie, as Faye sometimes called her behind her back, was a frequent, though not always welcome visitor. "One moment," Faye called out. Quickly, she finished drying off her foot. Spraying down her bathtub and the floor, she popped downstairs. Nellie was standing by the storefront window, arms crossed, her entire forehead wrinkling in displeasure. "It smells like a porta-potty in here," Nellie grimaced. Faye huffed. "Hillel had an accident again." "Again?" Nellie looked towards the dog. "Maybe you should take him to the vet." "I've taken him to the vet," Faye reminded her for the 10,000th time. Grabbing a towel and some pet odor remover, she bent down to the floor and began cleaning up his mess. "Can I help you with something, Nellie?" "I was wondering if you're going to single in the sukkah tonight," she asked. "I'm not planning on it." "Why not?" Nellie said, following her. She always followed her. "Only $24 a participant, for a good cause. Plus, you might meet someone." Faye tossed the turd in the trash. "I'm not interested in meeting anyone right now." "Why not?" Faye slammed the lid shut. "You know the reason." "Because you were dumped by your fiancé of 7 years after a snowmobile accident in Lapland?" Busted. Faye had first met Stuart Woods during law school. After a 7-year engagement,